A message of preparedness. New tonight on our news, live at 7. The Disaster Risk Management Authority urges residents to prepare for an active hurricane season. The state minister touts government's comprehensive preparedness plan. But first, a silent protest greets students at BTVI as the union demands resolution on an industrial agreement dispute. Plus, local water sports operators applaud the Prime Minister's recent affirmation that the industry is exclusively for Bahamians. Then in our news at 7:30, hurricane season comes back into focus as experts urge homeowners to check their property values. Our news live at 7 starts right now. Welcome to our news live at 7. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Kendino Knowles. It was an unusual morning for students showing up for classes at Bahamas Technical and Vocational Institute who were greeted by silent protesters outside the institute's gates. Members of the Union of Tertiary Educators of the Bahamas say they are upset over an industrial agreement. They're also at odds with the school's president. In this report, Berthany McDermott tells us they're now calling on the Minister of Labor to intervene.
A small group of protesters stood outside the Bahamas Technical and Vocational Institute with tapes across their mouths in silent protest to President Dr. Linda Davis. Union of Tertiary Educators of the Bahamas Vice President Anastasia Brown says the union signed an industrial agreement with BTVI a year ago. However, the union is still pushing to have the agreement enforced. They say they're tired of waiting.
We have followed every protocol. There is requested meetings after meetings, and they're stalled. We asked them to discuss all the outstanding issues that are dealt with in the contract that affects fall. Fall term is in a couple months. We need those resolved yesterday.
The union is also outraged over what they claim is BTVI challenging the agreement's financial clause. When it comes to the leadership of BTVI, here's what they had to say.
The terms of the hours need to be addressed, okay? We still have Bahamas on contract. The Prime Minister of the Bahamas said no reason why Bahamas should be on contract in a government entity. Why are you trying to give our Bahamas 3-year contract?
Brown says they will return to the front of BTVI every day if necessary until they get the matter resolved. We asked the UTEB Vice President if the union reached out to BTVI's president.
We've been sending requesting meetings. Her thing is that she does not understand. She needs to meet with the undersecretary. She needs to meet with the permanent secretary. I understand now she's went back to meet with the FS again because she don't understand the formula. Well, maybe that's what the accounting is for. I don't understand Pythagoras theorem, but a math person will. Let the professionals who understand it deal with it.
We reached out to BTVI officials, but they declined to comment on the issue. Still, Brown says they've reached out to the Minister of Labor to intervene. Reporting for Our News, I'm Berthany McDermott.
Thanks, Berthany. Meanwhile, Labor Minister Pia Glover-Roll responding to today's protest, saying she's disheartened by this morning's demonstration. She also says it's important workers access the benefits of the agreement as quickly as possible. The minister adding that supplementary and fiscal matters are still being worked on, and the Department of Labor will work to ensure the points of contention are resolved. Well, the Bahamas Press Club renewing the call to enact the Freedom of Information Act following that outburst from Financial Secretary Simon Wilson last week. Wilson got into an argument with a Nassau Guardian reporter and got into his face after he asked him a question and called him a liar. Now, Capron, who is part of the press club, says there is no good and proper way to say a lie is a lie except to call it what it is. The press club says it believes a free and independent press is a key mechanism of a functioning, healthy democracy. And water sports operators weighing in on Prime Minister Philip Davis's promise that the water sports industry is not for foreigners. But do they feel that it will have a real impact? Joshua Williams has the answer in this report.
Two local water sports owners are encouraged by Prime Minister Philip Davis's affirmation that the water sports industry is for Bahamians. In his budget communication last week, Davis says only Bahamians may be issued a license for the commercial operation of all motorized watercraft, including jet skis. Renwick Rule and Pedro Bannister have owned their companies for years. They say Davis's comments go back to the foundation of the industry.
Some of it was implemented over many, many years ago from our first Prime Minister, Mr. Sir Lyndon Pinland. That was like something that was just this industry. He had this reserved for Bahamians only, and that have been done over the past 20 years. It's nothing new, but seeing that the government has brought it up, it's a good thing. They're still looking out for the Bahamian people.
But are local operators threatened by foreign owners?
No, not to my knowledge, because right now, I haven't seen any foreigners into this business for a while because it just been, the Port Authority issue us licenses to operate. And so far on this whole Cable Beach Strip, and I haven't heard anything from the guys on Paradise Island concerning foreigners entering the business. So I think the Bahamian has it on lock.
The Prime Minister also sharing new duty concessions, reduced rates, and duty-free items. Both men say they'd like to be included in those concessions next time around.
Yeah, we could have a lot of incentive, like take for instance duty-free, bringing our jet skis in duty-free, because with the taxi union have that they can bring in taxis to keep your product upgraded. So if you can get that duty-free incentive to bring our jet skis in duty-free, that'd be a good thing for us.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Joshua Williams.
All right, thanks for that, Josh. The Disaster Risk Management Authority cautioning residents that the time is now to prepare for hurricanes. It comes as meteorologists are predicting an 84% above average hurricane season with 23 named storms, 11 hurricanes, and 6 of them major. Officials from the Department of Social Services say 144 shelters throughout the country have been assessed and are ready in the event the Bahamas is hit by a hurricane. State Minister responsible, Leon Lundy, says government has prepared a plan in the face of hurricanes. He says the ultimate goal of the DRA is to enhance safety and security of citizens.
Together, we form a united and a formidable front against the storms. We are upgrading our incident command systems for more effective coordination during disasters and deploying satellite data systems throughout our family islands to provide real-time, high-quality insights for decision-making. Additionally, we are partnering with regional allies to incorporate advanced technologies such as unmanned aerial systems for rapid damage assessment and AI-driven early warning systems.
All right, and speaking of preparedness, it's time now for your first look at temperatures. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is standing by in the Weather Center. And Greg, now I know you have your own preparedness tips that you've been working on.
A few.
Yeah?
A few. Well, not a complete list, but yeah. Of course, as you mentioned and we heard in the story just now, this is expected to be in a very high and above average season. So we are urging you to get all your hurricane plans together. And speaking of those tips, a couple of tips that we're going to ask you to keep in mind. Safety during this upcoming hurricane season, hurricane preparedness checklist. One is you need some flashlights, of course. And of course, that will go with your batteries and your radio so that you can listen to the upcoming updated reports. Medical supplies, of course, people have these medical issues, so have those on hand and keep them safely secured. And of course, you need at least 3 days of water and food. And these are non-perishable foods, so keep them in sealed bags or sealed containers. Listen to the advisory, safety information by the relative authority, especially the Department of Meteorology, NEMA, and any other government agency that would be putting them out. Leave the beachfront. I know a lot of people are, I don't want to say stubborn, but they want to stay near the shoreline. We have the threat for the storm surge. So if you are asked to leave those low-lying areas and beachfront, we urge you to do so. And last, but most important, know your evacuation route. And of course, we have these shelters. Make sure you know which shelter is nearest to you. And of course, just make sure you're prepared for this upcoming season. Above average expected there for the next couple of months. Temperatures were right now around the islands. This evening, it's 80 in Freeport, cooler still the night. 82 in Marsh Harbor, 83 in Great Harbor Key, as well as in Alistown, Bimini. Nickel San Andres here in the capital, 84, 81 in Governor's Harbor, and you guys in Governor's Harbor have some showers and thunderstorms nearby, as well as here in the capital. Central Bahamas, 82 Kemps Bay, Arthurstown, Cat Island. We pick up a string of 83s in Georgetown, Deadman's Key, and Copenhagen in Salvador, And into the southeast Bahamas, temperatures in the mid-80s there. 84s, Duncantown, Ragged Island, Delectable Bay. Pick up some 83s, Abrahams Bay, Colonel Hill, Cricket Island. 85s, Matthew Town in Agua, and our neighbors to the southeast, Turks and Caicos Islands. You guys had 85 as well. Satellite radar composite. We have still that moisture moving across the southeast Bahamas. Persistent upper level trough still in place. But we have the heating during the day and we have some moisture across the islands. We had a big downfall here in the capital earlier. Grand Bahama seeing some showers. We are likely to see this weather pattern for the next couple of days as that moisture will remain in place and the heating up today will generate these isolated thunderstorms. That's your first leg of weather. Stick with us. A look at your extended forecast. It's still to come.
Thanks, Greg. And still to come on our news, the Court of Appeal upholds a 12-year sentence for a doctor convicted of a 2010 rape. Plus, a man's body is found floating near Island Seas Resort in Grand Bahama. The latest from investigators after a concerned resident alerts police. The story when our news returns.
It has all the makings of a fairy tale.
I've seen her pan from tiny tot right up
to one of the most highly regarded coaches in U.S. women's college basketball.
Coach, she recruited a lot of our players in the programs.
Coach Yolette McPhee-McEwen behind the impressive performance of the ladies basketball team at Ole Miss University. Come join me, Sasha Lightbourne, as RTV presents an intimate look at Coach Yo's life, a dollar and a dream.
The Court of Appeal has affirmed the 12-year sentence handed down to a doctor convicted of raping a woman 14 years ago. Dr. Gerald Forbes sought permission to appeal his conviction out of time, but the court found his proposed appeal had no prospects to succeed. In September 2022, a jury found that Forbes raped the then 20-year-old woman in the bathroom of a medical office on March 9, 2010. The victim testified she worked in the same building as Forbes' clinic, Carmichael Medical. She said Forbes asked her to answer his phone when he was away, and according to her, Forbes came upstairs with a cordless phone. When she opened the door, he manhandled her and raped her in the bathroom. For his part, Forbes never denied that sex took place, but he claimed it was consensual. And on Grand Bahama, the body of a man found floating in waters east of the Island Seas Resort on that island yesterday afternoon. Here's what we know so far. A concerned resident spotted the body floating and called police. When officers and EMS personnel arrived on the scene, they say they retrieved the victim from the water. He was later examined by a doctor and pronounced dead on the scene. Police tell us the man appears to be in his late 40s to early 50s. Second in command of the Criminal Investigation Department, Superintendent Nicholas Johnson says there were no visible injuries on the deceased.
I can't say that he was dressed in a dive outfit and appeared to maybe snorkeling in the general vicinity. Foul play is not suspected at this time, however, pending on an official autopsy. Information received is that this gentleman may be from the immediate area and inquiries are being conducted.
Now, Superintendent Johnson had this warning for residents.
This is the summertime. There'll be a lot of persons who use the beach, and we tell them to be careful, be cognizant of their surrounding. If you're not a good swimmer, please use the necessary flotation devices and stay near to the shore.
When our news comes back from the break, we turn our spotlight to stories making headlines across the world as the United States urges the UN Security Council to support a ceasefire in Gaza. Plus, a Mexican mayor killed hours after the first woman is elected president. And we'll tell you the woman pronounced dead but found breathing at a funeral home when our news returns.
If you want a real nice, tasty Bahamian dish, there's a place on the fish fry you can't resist. You can watch the sunset out on the beautiful deck. Eat a juicy conch salad made by the contact technician. When they ask me where I yearn by the conch. When they ask me where I yearn by gold. When they ask me where I yearn by the conch. When they ask me where I yearn by
This is our news. Welcome back. We turn our attention now to stories making headlines across the world. The United States urged the UN Security Council to support President Joe Biden's three-phase plan to end the war in Gaza, free hostages, and deliver massive aid. U.S. Ambassador Linda Thomas-Greenfield announced a draft resolution backing Biden's proposal, which has been endorsed by numerous leaders and governments. The plan, which Hamas views positively, includes an initial 6-week ceasefire, Israeli withdrawal from Gaza, and phased release of hostages and prisoners. Biden's plan also calls for the reconstruction of Gaza. Gunmen killed the female mayor of Cotilla, Mexico, just hours after Claudia Sheinbaum was elected as the country's first female president. Yolanda Sanchez, who had governed since September 2021, was ambushed and shot 19 times. No arrests have been made, but it is believed that an organized crime group was responsible. Sanchez had previously received death threats and survived a kidnapping by armed men in 2023. Her murder follows widespread violence against politicians, with over 20 candidates killed since September. And a 74-year-old woman, declared dead in hospice care, was found breathing at a Nebraska funeral home on Monday. Authorities say the woman, Constance Glantz of Lincoln, had been transported from a nursing home where she was declared dead at 9:44 a.m. local time. Funeral home staff reportedly discovered she was breathing around 11:44 a.m. and called 911. They performed CPR and she was taken to hospital where she remains alive. Authorities said no criminal charges are pending and the investigation continues. Still to come in our news, today in history, find out interesting facts about the day that was June 4th. Then in our news at 7:30, homeowners urged to update property valuations as hurricane season begins. Plus, a woman's sentence is reduced for her role in a witness murder against a notorious gang member. When our news returns. Welcome back to our news. It's time now to turn our spotlight on events that shaped the day that was June 4th. Take a look. On this day in Bahamian history in 1969, a Lockheed Constellation airplane piloted by Canadian William Dempsey landed in Freeport, Grand Bahama after bombing Port-au-Prince, Haiti. The crew of 7 Americans and 2 Haitians requested refueling at the American Air Base, which was denied. They were later arrested. In 1971, Donald Webster Davis passed away. Davis was born in Panama, but his family relocated to New Providence. Educated in Nassau, Davis became a prominent educator, earning the title Godfather of Education for his contributions like Parents' Teachers' Day and school uniforms. Eastern Senior School was renamed D.W. Davis Junior High School in his honor. And in 1998, David Walsh, founder and CEO of Bre-X Minerals Limited, died in Nassau. Bre-X was involved in a major stock fraud, falsely claiming a gold find in Indonesia. Walsh moved to the Bahamas and died at age 52 after a stroke. The 2016 film Gold, starring Matthew McConaughey, was based on the Bre-X scandal. This one is for women. If you are looking for an event this month where you or a group of friends can unwind and enjoy open conversation on the challenges of womanhood, well, we've got an event for you. Our Danielle Meller actually sat with a friend whose passion project led her to create a lively sip and chat.
The Little Lady Diaries began as a blog, publishing articles and even a book focusing on inspiring everyday women. As the blog grew, so did the desire of its followers to take the conversations beyond social media. From there, creator Synovia Bastian began her journey of curating events that serve as safe spaces for women to network and purge. For the last 5 years, each Sip and Chat event was centered around topics that reflected a personal area of Synovia's life.
We've had a brunch theme where we just enjoyed, brunch, and we talked about everything because, of course, girlies love their brunch. We also last year had a mom's day out because I recently became a mom. So that was a nice little day out for the moms for us to connect together and just have a little break from our little ones. Years before that, we had one that was based on embracing just womanhood in terms of relationships. So that was one. And of course, that was a big one. And so we've explored so many different topics, but that's just a few.
This year will be a bit different. Under the theme Soft Girl Summer, she says she wants to shed light on the viral phrase Soft Girl Era.
So obviously that's a big trend right now, a millennial trend that is in the forefront. We see it on social media platforms. We see people living in this. And for me, when I first encountered the soft girl era trend, for me, what all I was seeing was, luxury, travel.
The event is scheduled for June 23rd at the Access Accelerator office on Gladstone Road. For more information, you can follow Sip and Chat 2024 on social media. Reporting for Our News, I'm Danielle Miller.
All right, thanks so much for that, Danielle. If you want to watch that story again and for all of today's top stories, you can visit ournews.bs and, of course, Our News Bahamas on Facebook. That's going to do it for us in News at 7. Joining us now is our Marlena Leonard with the latest headlines. Marlena?
Thanks, Ken. That looks really interesting, that Sip and Chat. It's always good to have a sense of community with the people that you're working with.
I was going to ask, have you done an event like that before?
I haven't, but it looks like fun, so maybe I'll try to make my way over there on that day.
Yeah.
Well, we're moving on now, so here's a look at your latest headlines.
Tonight on Our News, heavy downpours caused traffic jams on New Providence. This as stranded cars, flooded highways, and severe weather warnings in effect. And what you need to know about home appraisals as experts urge homeowners to check their property values. Plus, how a family is hoping to rebuild after a fire disaster. And calling Bahamian golfers. Sports Center Golf Academy opens doors for aspiring players. Our News Live at 7:30 is back in a moment.
Welcome to Our News, and thanks for joining us. I'm Marlena Leonard. Well, floods caused by heavy downpours caused some delays in New Providence this morning as multiple cars were left stalled on some of the island's main highways. The Bahamas Department of Meteorology issued a severe thunderstorm warning for the southern islands of the Bahamas last night, but the wet weather made its way up our island chain today. Those overnight showers continued into the day in New Providence, and those higher waters leaving some drivers stranded in areas of Independence Highway. Well, joining us now is meteorologist Greg Thompson, who's in the Weather Center with your first look at weather. Should we be expecting more of this kind of rain, Greg?
Yeah, we do have an unsettled weather pattern in place. We're seeing some more showers occurring mainly in the central and southeastern islands, but some of that moisture is moving up in our area. And we had that just one isolated shower across New Providence, basically in the center of the island, because we didn't get much in terms of any real rainfall in the far west, nor in the far east. But yeah, we're going to see a couple more showers throughout the remainder of the week, so stay tuned for that. And of course, do take extra precaution if you see these heavy rainfall come down, because we're having some ponding on the streets and some flooding in some low-lying areas. But it is much improved outside our studios right now. 84 degrees. Skies have cleared up, mostly clear skies. Still a little on the humid side. East winds at 12 miles per hour, so those winds have picked up a bit, and it feels like a very warm and humid 87 on the outside. Satellite radar composite showing most of the moisture, southeast Bahamas. That's still that persistent upper level trough that's generating some unsettled weather across that area. But the heating of the day and those light winds earlier, that caused the showers to pop up. And you notice across New Providence, we got some showers in Andros, and that actually linked with the shower across New Providence, and that's the reason why we had that heavy downpour. Grand Bahama, you got in on some of the action as well, but most of the activity in the central Bahamas waning now, so we are likely to see some more repeat showers and thunderstorms tomorrow. So just stay prepared for that and make sure you take precautions. That's a quick check on conditions around the islands. Stick with us, look at your extended forecast as to come.
Thanks, Greg. Well, now that the 2024 Atlantic hurricane season is upon us, home appraisal specialists are sounding the alarm, urging homeowners to take proactive measures when it comes to ensuring their homes are properly valued in case of disaster.
Law persons nowadays, they wait until the last minute to get appraisals done, and that's a bad habit.
With the potential for devastating storms looming, experts emphasize the importance of being prepared. A part of the preparation that's often overlooked is a home appraisal. An appraisal is an unbiased professional opinion of a home's value and is required whenever a mortgage is involved in ensuring, buying, refinancing, or selling property. How should one go about making sure their property is appraised? Bahamas Realty Appraisal Assistant Devon Dorset explains.
Don't wait until June to start getting the process done. You come by as early as January. Mind you, insurance companies is not mandated to get appraisals done, but it's best for you. I had a client literally this morning come by and they said, went to the insurance company and they only want $125,000 insured. But guess what? I went by the property is worth at least $350,000, which means that the replacement cost value if a hurricane did pass by, they're going to go ahead and only get up until $125,000 covered and not the full fact or the full figures.
He explains the difference between personal valuables and real estate value.
Real estate is considered, for instance, this table here, this is called personal property. They don't insure this kind of stuff at all. They only worry about the actual structure, the four walls that are contained here today. They're not worrying about this chair or this sofa, nothing like that. They're just worrying about what's making this building tick, what's making this building some money, what's going on, what's keeping you safe at the end of the day, what's keeping us structurally sound. And I think you can go ahead and you can insure these things if you want to. Some person have valuable pieces, maybe, that they want to insure. That's a different scope, a different conversation.
Well, police have another traffic fatality investigation on their hands. They say it was shortly after 3 a.m. when a 23-year-old motorcyclist was found lying unresponsive on Gladstone Road. Details are still unclear, but police say he was transported to hospital where he died just after 6 a.m. Investigations continue. And a woman who lured a witness against a notorious gang member to his death has had her 35-year sentence cut by 5 years by the Court of Appeal. With credit for time spent on remand before her conviction, Karen Moss will spend 28 years and 10 months behind bars. Moss was convicted of conspiracy to murder O'Neill Marshall, who was also known as Yardie. Marshall was placed in the witness protection program after he agreed to testify in the abetment to murder case of a gang member. He was murdered between April and May 2016. Moss admitted that she picked up Marshall and parked the car through Yorkshire Street after being asked to set up Marshall by gang members.
Still to come on Our News, from tragedy to triumph, HMBS Flamingo survivor's family grapples with home loss in the heartfelt viral story. Plus, Carnival's $500 million cruise port on Grand Bahama now set to welcome visitors by summer 2025. And expanding golf opportunities to more Bahamians. Sports Center Golf Academy opens doors for aspiring players. Their story when Our News returns.
Well, what you doing here?
I dig in the well to connect to the house they're building for me and Mavis.
Why you just don't call water and sewage?
Call them for what?
To get your city water. You don't have to worry about your water cutting off when the power cut off. And your water's clean and safe, free from coliform bacteria.
Cauliflower what?
Call us at 302-5500 to make the switch from well water to city water for a more fresh, reliable water supply for you and your family.
It has all the makings of a fairy tale.
I've seen her came from tiny tot right up
to one of the most highly regarded coaches in U.S. women's college basketball.
Coach, she recruited a lot of our players in the programs.
Coach Yolette McPhee-McEwen behind the impressive performance of the ladies basketball team at Ole Miss University. Come join me, Sasha Lightbourne, as RTV presents an intimate look at Coach Yo's life, a dollar and a dream.
A survivor of the HMBS Flamingo and his family are picking up the pieces after their home was destroyed by fire last week. The heart-touching story going viral on social media. Our Joshua Williams caught up with his son as tractors began clearing down what was left of their home.
I mean, it's such a devastating time for my family, my daughter, my mom. But we're most worried about my father,
The family of Captain Whitfield Neely is grateful they all escaped with their lives after their Yellow Elder home went up in flames last Friday. Neely is one of the most decorated officers to serve on the Royal Bahamas Defense Force, a national hero and one of 15 survivors of the HMBS Flamingo tragedy in 1980. He's also a former ambassador to Haiti and the Dominican Republic. His son Osano Neely lives at home with his parents, fiancé, and young daughter. He shares how he got the news.
We had a fire on Friday at 2:50. I got a call from my fiance that the house was on fire. Of course, you know, as anybody would say, what house? The only thing she was able to grab was our daughter and run out of the house.
When we arrived, we met a tractor clearing down what was left of the home. Neely describes the emotional moment.
It's rough. It's not normal. This is not a everyday occurrence, you know. My heart bleeds for my dad and my mom.
Neely adds his father is a survivor of stage 3 cancer and adds this is another test he'll overcome.
My father had just left the house 10 minutes prior to, but when I had called him, he was his normal self, so I knew he had not known about the fire. So it broke my heart to have to break the news to him, and he got home, and you know, the first thing he tried to do was run into the house. It's 45 years of his work in that house. This is where we all lived. This was the homestead. But I guess everything will be made new.
Since the day of the fire, Neely has been active on social media, sharing the journey so far with friends and followers. He says the support has been overwhelming.
Tremendous. I mean, Bahamians of all walks, people we don't even know have been supporting us.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Joshua Williams.
Thanks for that, Josh. Well, Phase 1 of Carnival's Cruise Port Celebration Key in Grand Bahama is set to open by summer 2025. That confirmation coming from the Vice President of Destination Operations at Carnival Corporation, Juan Fernandez, on board Carnival's Dream Cruise Ship today. The $500 million investment includes Paradise Plaza, Locono Cove, and Calypso Lagoon. This is Carnival's largest cruise port in the world. Some 4 million visitors are expected to visit the island by 2028. Fernandez also gave an update on the project's status. He says they're now in the process of starting vertical construction.
You'll see buildings actually come up, particularly for the restrooms, the back of the house, as well as the restaurants. So the work is going according to plan. In terms of hiring, we have a very strong Bahamian leadership team for Celebration Key. We've made great strides. We will be having job fairs beginning in July, and there will be several of them. The bulk of the hiring will happen in Q1 and Q2 of next year as we get closer, but we will hire our supervisors and our leadership team ahead of time.
The president adds there are lots of business opportunities for residents.
Retail, food and beverage, shore excursions. Those are really the 3 major RFPs that we've launched, and we've gotten tremendous amount of responses, and we're working through the awarding and the contracting as we speak.
Accessing services at the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture just got a little easier. The ministry has joined 18 other government agencies on the My Gateway platform. My Gateway is part of the government's digital transformation initiative to provide easier access to government services. It's been around since May 2021 and since then has continued to expand. When it comes to the sports ministry, there was an official launch at the Andre Rogers Softball Stadium. Sports Minister Bowleg says they've already received hundreds of applications.
This for us is a significant step forward in our nation's digital advancement, allowing us to extend our reach and service to every citizen with just a click of the button. Our goal is clear. We want to position ourselves as a ministry that works for all. By leveraging the power of My Gateway, we aim to make all of our applications accessible, serving as a gateway to opportunity for everyone in our country.
It's now time for tonight's Financial Market Minute, brought to you by RF, your local investment bank. This has been your Financial Market Minute. To explore the best performing mutual funds in the Bahamas, visit our website at www.rfgroup.com.
When Our News comes back from the break, are you an aspiring golfer who's ready to elevate your game to new heights? We'll tell you a game-changing initiative by the Sports Center Golf Academy.
Coming up in sports, Dominic Bridgewater signs with a new club in France, and our senior women's national basketball team heads to training camp.
And diving deep into conservation, the Bahamas marks National Ocean Protection Week and World Oceans Month when Our News returns.
You've seen electric cars on the road, but isn't it time you drive one? Easy Car Sales invites you to experience the smooth, powerful ride and immerse yourself in the luxury and latest tech features. Find out why the Bahamas is going electric. Visit easy242.com and book your test drive now. What are you waiting for? Save money, drive smarter. There's an EV waiting for you at Easy Car Sales.
Baby.
This is Our News. Welcome back. The sport of golf is arguably one of the most skill-intensive in existence. As its popularity continues to increase, many Bahamians find it challenging to constantly practice their skills or play around on a golf course. This issue prompted prominent businessman Craig Flowers to take action. With the assistance of past president of the Bahamas Golf Association, Agatha Delancey, the Sports Center Golf Academy was established.
We came here and we convinced the government to provide us with the land, the property here. And our role was at the time to create something for junior golf, to develop junior golf here for the future of golf. We realized that the larger properties here in the Bahamas, the resorts, was not the answer for our future. So we took it upon ourselves to create this, to put this together, she and I, in order to develop it. Fortunately for us, we've been able to do this on our own. We had not gone out to others to seek funding, and that was our main strength, that we were able to do this on our own.
Located across the street from the eastern grandstand side of the National Stadium, Flowers says although people enjoy the golf course now, there's still more work to be done.
The property here, as you can see, is far from being completed. The property has a lot more work to be done. We have the clubhouse to put in. We're finishing off the putting green, the chipping green, and the driving range.
Flowers announced the course is also the home for the Bahamas Women's Golf Association as he continues to support the progression of women's golf. Well, our national basketball team standout Dominic Bridgewater is headed to a new league in France, and training camp for the senior women's basketball team is set for next week. Well, here now with our sports presented by 10th year seniors is Ronaldo Dorset and John Mark Nutt. Ronaldo?
Thanks, Marlena, and welcome to Our Sports presented by 10th year seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. That's John Mark Nutt. Let's do show. A huge career milestone for Dominic Bridgewater this week as he continues to climb the pro basketball ladder in France. Bridgewater moved up to the second division in France and signed with Champagne Basket for the upcoming 2024-25 season. It will be the highest promotion for a full year.
I had a conversation with the coach, and it was a no-brainer because the coach is like, he followed me from I was a kid. For my reach in France, he was following me, and he said he followed me throughout the whole process, and the conversation just went really well. Now it's like, let's do it.
He previously played in Pro B for just 3 games in 2021 when 4 Premier buyers needed depth for a playoff run. Bridgewater's career in France began at the under-21 level in the Buyers organization. The team then placed him on loan to Sapella Basket 13 in the NM2 League.
Oh, just learning the game, honestly. I come from the Bahamas where we just used to run. And then when I get to France, I realized that you could run, but you guys also have to know how to control the game, be a better player, be a better teammate, be a better young man, and it just helped me go on throughout.
Following that, he signed with US Avignon in the NM1 League. In 2 seasons with US Avignon, he averaged 14.4 points and 4.8 assists per game.
Don't give up on your dreams. Like, I was a kid, thought it was over, and it wasn't over. So don't give up on your dreams. any opportunity you got to work on your game and ask questions, ask for help. You know what I mean? Don't be shy.
The excitement around a reinvigorated senior women's national team program takes the court. The team will host training camp June 10th to the 17th at the Kendall Isaacs Gymnasium beginning each night at 7 p.m. The camp is open to all senior women players pre-registered at bbfbasketball.com. Ole Miss head coach Yolette McPhee-McEwen returned to her role as head coach of the senior women's program back in March. During her previous stint, she led the team to the 2015 CBC Basketball Championship. Monday was opening day for several of the country's youngest pro baseball prospects in the Dominican Summer League. New York Mets prospect Boan Adderley had the debut every player dreams about, a home run on his first swing of his first pro game. The 6'3" outfielder homered to right field in the second inning of his DSL Mets 2-0 win over the DSL Yankees. In an inter-squad matchup, Boston Red Sox prospect Tavano Baker got his first hit in his DSL Reds 3-2 loss to the DSL Blue. Miami Marlins prospect Bryce Dean got his second season in the DSL off to an insanely good start at the plate. Dean finished 4 for 5 with 3 RBI and scored 1 run in his club's 11-9 win over the DSL Rangers Red. After going hitless in Game 1, Texas Rangers prospect Rashawn Pinder got his first hit this morning in Game 2. Pinder went deep for a solo home run in the first inning against the DSL Tigers. That'll do it for our sports. This is 10YS. John, do you think this means we can ask Dominic for money now? I could borrow $1?
Still ahead on Our News tonight, the Bahamas now officially has a National Ocean Protection Week. We're speaking to brief officials about their celebration plans. And we saw rain move across our islands last night and today. But should we be preparing for more into the week? Greg is back with your extended weather forecast right after this quick break. Stay with us.
Introducing the Focal Smart Pass app that helps you to fuel up faster. Here's how it works. Download the app on the App Store or get it on Google Play and create your profile with payment details. Visit your nearest Shell station, open the app, scan the pump's QR code, select your payment amount, and begin fueling. Say goodbye to cash and cards because the Focal Smart Pass offers secure and convenient payment options right at your fingertips. Download Focal Smart Pass now and fuel up faster today.
Over a decade ago, the Bahamas Striping Group of companies was birthed out of a passion to change the way we travel. From only a $5,000 grant, the tenacity and work ethic has propelled BSGC to one of the leading road management companies in the Caribbean. We pride ourselves on going the extra mile where others won't, through the use of our state-of-the-art equipment and our certified team. Although the success is commendable, the road has been long. Yet, the mission continues in striving to be a world-class organization ran by Bahamians for Bahamians. With the help of our experienced and hardworking team, we at the Bahamas Striping Group of Companies are committed to making a difference, one road at a time.
Welcome back to Our News. We had some wet weather last night and into this morning, but ended the day on a sunny note. Greg is back in the Weather Center with your extended forecast. Greg?
Yeah, thanks again, Marlene, and welcome back, everybody. Yeah, we are going to see that kind of a pattern over the next couple of days as we still have some low-level moisture around. Some of that will back up from the south as we have an upper-level trough down there. It's going to be generating some showers, but before we get to that, of course, we are in the 4th day of the official start of the hurricane season, and this is NOAA's forecast. Named storms, 17 to 25 are expected, 8 to 13 of those becoming hurricanes, and major hurricanes will be between 4 to 7. So this is actually giving you that hint to get your hurricane plans in place. 85% chance of an above normal season, and this is a record above normal season expected. So do get your act together and make sure you prepare for the upcoming hurricane season. In the tropics right now, we're not seeing much in terms of any significant weather. We have a couple of tropical waves moving across the tropical belt. This actually is a well-defined ITCZ, or an intertropical convergence zone. A lot of moisture associated with that. We'll be moving across towards the west and, of course, into the far Caribbean. Nothing much happening there, but weak tropical wave just south of Jamaica. That's helping to pump some moisture across the southeast and central Bahamas. So that's going to keep our atmosphere a little unsettled. So we're looking for some showers and some thunderstorms with that as we go through the remainder of the week. Future forecast showing the moisture associated with the upper level trough across the southeast Bahamas. That will stay in place. Some of that moisture will back up towards the north across the north central Bahamas, by Wednesday and into Thursday. We could see some more of that moisture moving across the northwest Bahamas. So showers will be in the forecast for the balance of the week. Boating forecast, pretty nice on the water tonight through tomorrow. For all areas, we expect those winds to be out of the east to southeast 10 to 15 knots. They will fall light and variable at times, seas running 2 to 4 feet. High tide was at 7:06 tonight. Your low tide takes place at 1:36 in the morning. Here's a look now at your national forecast. In the extended forecast, we will keep off and on showers in the forecast. Wednesday, Thursday, a little bit of a break on Friday. And then come Saturday and Sunday, that's more showers in the forecast. And of course, Friday being a holiday, just make sure you take an umbrella. You could see 1 hour isolated shower or maybe even a thunderstorm, mostly in the afternoon. But yeah, prepare for it. That's a look at our weather. Make it a safe night, everybody.
Thanks, Greg. Well, the Bahamas now officially has a National Ocean Protection Week, and we're right in the middle of it. June is celebrated as World Oceans Month across the globe. Here in the Bahamas Reef Environment Educational Foundation has been advocating for more of the month's recognition locally. Last year, June 8th was officially declared Oceans Day, and this year, that recognition has gone a step further. Reef's Outreach Officer Heather Brockbank explains.
This year we have June 3rd through June 8th as National Ocean Protection Week, which is a proclamation we just got passed by the Prime Minister. So we're happy to celebrate this week with you guys, and we also have very exciting events coming up celebrating this day.
Things like their free World Oceans Day public snorkel event taking place on Sea Beach Promenade.
We host our monthly snorkels, and for this month we're celebrating World Oceans Month, and our snorkel is going to be on the beach across from Sapodilla. It's going to be from 9 a.m. to 12 noon on June 8th, which is a Saturday. So be sure to come out, bring your family, friends, or students. Anybody over 8 years old is free to try and snorkel. We provide all of the materials and gear that you might need.
Well, thank you for joining us for our news tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Marlena Leonard. We'll see you tomorrow night. Have a great evening.